Welcome, my friends, to the best place on the internet on a Thursday morning. It's the Business Building Book Club. And this week, we are kicking off our next season, our newest book. We are done with Daryl Eves and his brilliance. If you want to check out all the previous episodes where we covered the YouTube formula, definitely check those out on the Visibility Hackers YouTube page. But this season, my friends, things are a little bit different. This season, you can join us for Gary V's Jab, 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 Right Hook, one of the foundational texts when it comes to the art of being everywhere. But you can actually watch us not only on the Visibility Hackers YouTube page, but we are multi-streaming over to Mark's Mental Marketer, as well as Create with Lefty, the video Jedi himself. So hello to everyone coming in from all of our platforms. And yeah, let's kick this off. Mark, how are you doing?
Good morning, my book building, but okay,
the tongue twister.
It's a little early, but hey, thanks everyone out there for watching. We love you giving us your comments, suggestions, feedback. Doing great today. You mentioned that we're streaming everywhere, and that's exactly what Gary Vaynerchuk talks about in this book that I can't, the first few forewords and the chapter is just really some eye-opening, compelling information. Interesting that, like we talked about briefly last week, is that it's 10 years old. Mm-hmm. It's and you can actually, in the first portion, you can tell that this was sort of early social media marketing, because he talks about, you should be on this platform. And yep. It's kind of like we all know the importance of social media now. So, but it's still really great. I got a brand new bookmark.
Nice.
I love bookmarks, by the way, and I got a nice. If you ever want to speak my love language, my
noted.
Yes, I made a post in my community post on my YouTube channel about books being my love language, and nice. I went to my brother's house few weeks back, and I had this bunch of books that I had just gotten, and they're spare. So I said, wow, perfect opportunity. My sister-in-law is starting this entrepreneurial journey.
Yay!
Yeah. She's doing it. She's doing brick and mortar.
Cool.
She's I say brick and mortar, but it's a food truck.
Cool.
Nice. Yeah. So
yum.
Yeah, so it's one of those, it's one of those things where you're turning your passion into a business. So, that could be tricky sometimes, but I'm supporting. I took 5 different books, all in the entrepreneurial and marketing space. And then I said, here, and it was like, they were like, wow, I'm really going to be able to get some use from this. So that's my love language. What's your love language, right?
Lefty, what's your love language?
Well, first of all, can somebody get me a mug so I can stop using my wife's? Read this.
I love it.
Yeah, it's a great saying, but I mean,
okay, I'm still here.
I mean, like, what? Like, I need a mug, guys. I need a brand new Lefty mug.
Well, maybe that's a project I can take on for the Business Building Book Club.
But to talk about the book personally, like I love, first of all, I loved how he kind of just like right after the intro, he just jumped right in.
Jumps in.
Just boom, went right in, gives you just incredible knowledge and information and whatnot. And Mark, you said 10 years old, but the thing is like, you gotta, when you're reading books like this, you got to look at it from not the social media aspect, but what what the information is being said within. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
10 years ago, we were talking about, they're talking about client journey and telling stories and pulling out emotions.
Yeah.
That is what you have to jump on. Not the fact that the YouTube logo isn't on here. You know what I mean?
Right.
Not the fact that the Google Plus logos on there and these things don't really exist or are kind of irrelevant. You know,
Right.
don't look at it from the platforms aspect. Look at it from the information of what he's telling you to do within these platforms. Because if you really think about it, and this is what stuck out to me, was if the information is relevant still from 10 years ago, the market doesn't change that often as you think, which means that, you know, be aware of the not so nice gurus on the internet, because they're going to give you false information.
We're all Russell Brunson fans, right? So I love looking at him as an example of exactly what you just said, Lefty. He's recycling some of the oldest marketing information. Like at Funnel Hacking Live, we had this whole presentation about P.T. Barnum. And like we're talking core, essential, foundational information. Dan Kennedy is one of the oldest great in all respect, like one of the founders of like this type of marketing that we do. And he's like, I wanted to retire, so he sold his company, and now Russell's tricked him into continuing to work, which is wonderful. We love it. We love it. I'm looking for it. But again, it's information that people were using 20, 30 years ago, if not more. But in a world that wasn't digital. That's the coolest thing I think about Dan Kennedy, to go completely off topic, is he comes from a world that isn't digital, but everything he says applies. And so Gary Vee is coming from a place 10 years ago where he is so steeped in digital that he's like, he's going a little bit too extreme, I think, because it worked 10 years ago to try and be everywhere. But now being everywhere is going to dilute your brand. So it's about being strategic. How do we become strategic? We work on those foundations. We know how to tell stories. We know how to attract our customer avatar. All of those foundations lead to a killer strategy that's customized for your business. Because all the marketing materials, everything we're going to learn in this book, the way that Lefty's business is going to apply it, is going to be completely different than how Mark's sister-in-law's food truck is going to be, right? Like, this is very different businesses, but you can use the right foundational tools to build a plan that works for you.
Oh man, such a great point. Not to, it's just like we got the book, and I was gonna talk about some of the really, really good points that I got from it. And I know it doesn't, principles are principles, and the principles work whether you believe them or not. So the truth is that really we could not agree with gravity, but gravity is going to bring your butt down the
Yeah.
Right. So we're human, and human psychology is to a good degree predictable. Predictable. And we hear it in a lot of other books. I'm mentioning another book that we're not reading, but the book series by Robert Cialdini, Persuasion and Influence. I don't know if you've heard of those two books. But you have your commitment and consistency rules. You have your social proof. So I love how he delved into it, just talking about native content. And I know you'll want to get into that too. And making sure that the content that you're producing is native to your the platform that you're posting on. I think your friend Nicholas Kuzmic called it contextual congruence.
But yeah, and let's talk about native for a second, because it has a lot of different meanings. But what native to me truly means, and I've seen it time and time again, is they want you to use the tools within the platform to create content. That's native to the platform. So if you let's say put out a YouTube video, for example, don't share the link to Facebook. Take that video and legitimately upload it to Facebook's library, right? Yep. Because the more, and by the way, I'm actually on a 98-day visibility winning streak with Facebook. So I'm close to hitting 100 days of Facebook just being like, we love you, like let's just continue posting and pushing your stuff out.
Good.
So I'm really proud about that. But that goes back down to native, right? Like I do everything within Facebook, within LinkedIn, within Instagram. I'm sorry, guys, I don't edit in your Reels section. I make my own videos, but at the end of the day, post natively. And for those of you that want a little side note, start using your own music. Start using your own stock music to actually upload your Reels. Because have you ever run into a situation, and it doesn't even have to be with Reels, it could be any platform. Have you ever ran into a situation that you're like, wow, that was an awesome video. I'm going to go find the best music. Oh my God, I have probably about $500 that I can help boost this video. Instagram, no, you cannot boost this video. We're not allowing it. It's unacceptable. Do you want to know why? Because the moment you put their music library on your video, it becomes property of Instagram, and you actually don't have the rights to advertise. So if you are making a piece of content for any platform, just get royalty-free music. And if you don't have a service, or find somebody who does and ask them, hey, do you mind downloading this song for me? And I'm going to say yes for a low price of, no, I'm just kidding. But
Royal, well, it's you can't use it for commercial purposes.
Yeah.
If the individual, if you tag the individual who has a commercial license, I buy a commercial license for everything, because I don't know where my videos are going to end up.
Yes.
You as a marketer, you know, that maybe just are doing it for knowledge sake, and you're not actually like advertising, or you're not planning on being on a billboard one day. You don't necessarily need that. You don't care. But if you came to me and did that and did a job with me, and you needed that sort of license to be able to advertise, then that's where someone like me would come into play. But use your own music, ladies and gents. There's so many different platforms that you can get. Stop. Don't use the trending audio. Like if you want to just boost your stuff. Yeah.
So have you changed your mind on using trending audio then?
I use it, so I'm using it now for my VSL masterclass, just because I don't care. Like I'm just putting the videos there like just natively, right? They're not there for boosting purposes. But yeah, I don't use it. I would rather, and it's funny because I heard this from the Harmon brothers. No video goes viral organically. There's always some sort of paid structure behind it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, if I have a commercial, or if I have a VSL or some sort of like ad that I want to push out, I guarantee you I'll get a further reach if I had like I said, $500, for example. If I put $500 behind a video using my own music, I would get a further reach than somebody just using a trending audio trying to get a couple likes through the door. So
you mentioned something. You mentioned that no video goes viral on its own, right? And I think I've heard the same thing. I think I learned that from Brendan Kane and his book Hook Point. Another book, just me nerding out. Have you heard of a process called? I've heard this mentioned recently when the CEO of TikTok was on before a hearing in the United States in Congress. They called it heating.
I haven't been watching the whole debacle that's going on.
Oh, all of that.
But
have you heard of it? Molly?
Tell me more.
Heating. It's a process of the platform heating up content to get it more exposure, or like purposely choosing which content gets exposure and which content goes viral.
Interesting.
I've heard, okay, so I'm not one to spread rumors, but so you didn't hear it from me.
I've heard a variation of this.
But I've heard that in order to encourage some creators to come to the platform, that TikTok has engaged in heating content, getting them a lot of exposure on their posts and just pushing it out to more people selectively.
Yeah. And I've seen on certain platforms as well. I don't know. Again, I don't know the algorithm. Like, I don't know what's happening behind the scenes. But I've found that on certain platforms, not going to name them, that the first few posts you put out get a lot of exposure. It's like there's a special place in the algorithm for new people. So you get that reward of, ooh, I got a bunch of likes and new followers, and wow, that paid off. You put the exact same piece of content out a week later and nothing. Yeah. Lefty. Yes.
It's you call it heating, I call it a dopamine rush. It's literally it's all psychology. When you come into a brand new platform, like think about it like this for a second. Mark's never been on TikTok before, or Mark's never been on Instagram before. All of a sudden, Mark starts posting up videos and he's getting 0 to 3 likes on every single post, and he's a brand new user. He's not going to feel very good about himself, and he's probably going to just abandon the platform and say, screw you, I'm deleting this app, I don't need it anymore.
It sucks.
So what they do is they give you that initial dopamine rush, so you're like like a panting dog trying to put out as much content as you possibly can.
It's like crack. And you're forever in
like
search.
Crack. Yeah.
You're forever in search of that same high that you got with the initial high.
There you go.
And I hate to say this from a cult perspective, it's called love bombing. They will cover you in love at the beginning so you feel built up, you feel strong, and then they rip that away from you and show you the harsh reality of the algorithm. I mean, of the group. I mean, what are we talking about?
What? of life starts going glitchy, guys.
Be one of us.
What are we talking about? Are we talking about love? Or are we talking about the?
No, but that's what it is. It's just a dopamine rush to get you.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just a dopamine rush to get you excited to be on the platform, and then they more or less strip it all away from you afterwards, and they're just like, it's almost like what's the word I'm looking for? Like when you like when you're on like probation at a job, but you still get like it's paid training. So they pay you with likes and loves and comments and follows. But then once your training is over, they're just like, all right, Mark, we expect you to know how to do your job now. So we're gonna leave it all into your hands. And you're just like, what the beep?
Yep. This isn't what I signed up for. our relationship has changed. You've changed, Facebook.
It's not you. No, it is. It's you, not me.
Yeah.
And that
No,
goes,
let's head back to the book for a moment.
I was just about to.
Okay,
about
go.
to.
Go,
So
Lefty.
I was gonna say, based on that, you know, I think Gary pointed somewhere in here as well. It was very faint, but it was now where it's people own companies, not the companies own people anymore. So because we are at the forefront of realistically whether a business stays alive or not, it goes back to, he talks about a lot of storytelling, and I love storytelling. I will literally not put out a piece of content for a year if it means that I will give you guys the most incredible story ever.
I love that.
And this is, and the thing is like it's psychology at the end of the day, right? Like you need to tap into people's emotions. You need to tap into the 12 relatable truths, which I spoke about in my challenge, in my 5-day challenge. There are 12 relatable truths in which people live within. And if you can create content and tell stories around those 12 relatable truths, you will then figure out these people's like buying personas and then buying habits and whatnot. And then when you figure that out, just like Avatar, you could literally see if our hairs sync up and that we made a connection.
Let me see. We'll have to get some extensions.
Yeah. The plugs.
Yeah. You have to let me know how to get access to the replays, Lefty.
They're all in the group, my man. You just scroll through and watch from day 1 to day 5.
I looked for day 1 and it looked like you were doing it on Zoom and then you didn't put that one inside of the group. Just a side note.
Okay, I'll take a look into that then. Thank you for bringing that up to my attention.
I saw, I think maybe day 1 you did in the Zoom, but then the rest of the days you actually had them inside of the group. Okay, but
anywho, that's neither here nor there. Point is,
I want to hear those 12 relatable facts or those truths.
Well, I can give you a couple since we're talking about storytelling. You know, number 1 is fear. You can literally create an entire year's worth of content around fear. Okay. And what do I mean by fear? You're not going like boo and popping up and scaring somebody. We're literally talking about what are people scared about the most? They're scared about not being able to put food on their table. They're scared about their business not scaling. They're scared about their business just staying relevant. They're scared about so many things.
They're scared about a recession. They're scared about housing booms. I think that fear is the truth of choice for politicians.
Yeah. And there you go. That's a perfect example. Politicians, for the most part, I'm obviously we're not naming names or anything, and we're not saying anything, but there is a lot of scare tactics when it comes to media, right? And they do that to just essentially evoke emotion, right? Yeah. You can also another relatable truth is pain. What pain is your audience feeling, right? Like, where are they right now and where would they like to be? Like, these are truths that you can legitimately build content around. And okay, fine, maybe I'm exaggerating. Like, I wouldn't go an entire year of just talking about fear and pain, but I mean, you could probably get a solid 30 to 60 days worth of content just around those 2 subjects, but you have 12 of them. So you could literally talk about a specific pain or a specific relatable truth each month, and then you can have your content ready for an entire year.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So let's Mark, go.
I was going to mention just a part of the book that kind of that I read that kind of talked about how just something he said, page 9. I'm going to say the page 9, the left paragraph. we have to I kind of, I was reading it and I was like, man, this is 15 pages. And it's like, it feels like you're reading double pages almost.
That's what Lefty hates about it.
But this is what we talked about. He says that here's how marketers react to a new platform. Someone emails them an article that says something like Snapchat is exploding. So they head over to the site to see what it's about. They spend a few minutes there and see a bunch of drunken 25-year-olds posting bikini shots and walking the dogs. And then they write the site off as a waste of time and don't come back until 12 months later when everyone and their aunt is using it. At which point they make a big announcement praising themselves as though being last in line is something to be proud of.
Yeah, I like that one too.
I have to admit that I am at this point with TikTok.
I just never cared for the platform. I don't know why.
I don't think any of us are on TikTok, are we?
It's and it's not an age thing. It's definitely not that. But like, it's just, you know what? I don't think it's as user friendly as people think it is. Like, I mean, I want to say I'm at least like half intelligent, but I mean, when I go on TikTok and like I'm looking at the inbox, I'm looking at like how it's all set up, and I'm just like, this literally looks like a nightmare. I don't know where these notifications are coming from. I don't know what to click on. But then you got like someone who's like a Gen Zer, and they're just like, oh yeah, you go here, you click that, you scroll down, you go to it. And I'm like, what? I don't understand. But I'm on like 7 different platforms. How do I not get this one? Right? So is it me or is it TikTok? Right?
For me, I'm looking for the ROI. I'm looking for the ROI. And from what I hear, and you guys can give me your input. It's a place to grow. You can grow a following. Mm-hmm. I hear some people actually making purchase decisions from it. Mm-hmm. And I do hear some people that are growing their other channels from TikTok. Mm-hmm. From TikTok. And for me, it's the ROI, it's the longevity of the content. But I have seen some things lately that are making me rethink it. And most notably is seeing TikToks show up in Google searches.
Mm. Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess what I could say to you, Mark, is go ahead. Enjoy it. Enjoy it while you can, Mr. America. Us here in Canada will enjoy having TikTok.
Yeah, I will never be on TikTok because of how the company is run. And I am very much aware of where our data is and where it's going, even though as digital marketers, we utilize a lot of data. We utilize data from our customers, and you can take that data in a very different direction. But I find that it's, as a digital marketer and as an entrepreneur who works in the digital space, it's my responsibility to be responsible for the information that my customers and my potential customers and my leads give me. And so when it comes, I'm aware of what services I use based on who will copy my my email list, for example, or who will then what platforms will start to send messages to my list without their consent, without my list consent. Right. And so with TikTok and where that data is going, and how much data, let's get like super nerdy for a moment.
You know what?
But TikTok,
get specific.
Yeah. TikTok
names.
Yeah, like TikTok, they go through there was a guy I saw recently from a cybersecurity company in the States, and he went through the source code of TikTok and was like, why does it need to know the position of your phone? Why does it need to know all of this information? Why does it need to have access to your contacts? Why does it need to have access? It accesses almost every piece of information in your phone. It knows if your phone is turned up or turned down. It knows if your phone is moving or not. None of this is relevant to the data itself. And you can actually see over the last few updates of the TikTok app, it's gotten worse. It started out being totally fine. And now every time there's an update, there's more and more information that it's collecting. And that to me feels weird.
Well, in terms of
it's very addicting.
Well, yeah, they built it that way too. But you know, in terms of the whole contact thing, every platform does it. Instagram did it, Facebook did it. Like they all do it. You start up a new profile and show you 15 of your friends that are also on Instagram. So they all use the contact the contact scheme at the beginning. So that one I'm not in particular.
No, I mean, like, it's one thing to say, yes, you can have access to my contact list so you can make that connection to people, to friends I might know.
Right.
But Instagram does it through your Facebook account that's connected through the email address.
Right.
It doesn't go into your contacts.
Yes.
Unless you give it permission to. But what TikTok does is it goes in and gathers that information even for users who aren't on the platform. So my data, because I'm friends with people who are on TikTok, my data, my text messages I've had with people who are users of TikTok on a non-TikTok related app, that data is now stored on TikTok servers.
Oh,
that's what I'm saying. It's not just we're collecting information that we are going to use for marketing purposes. It's we are just bulk collecting information, and it's sitting on servers that aren't controlled by the laws and regulations of either of our countries. That's where I get worried. There's my soapbox.
I've avoided it, and that's one of the reasons as well. But it seems as though time goes on, I guess you see more people using it, then mentally you start to lower your guards a little bit. You start to lower your guard. And I think that's probably that's a strategy.
And Mark,
that's a strategy.
To go based on your point in terms of the growth, where other platforms like Facebook and Instagram, you have a longevity in terms of like paid advertisement. TikTok only allows you to boost a video for 7 days. They don't allow you to go past that. Really? So imagine you're going into TikTok with a $5,000 budget. That's now 5,000 divided by 7, which I think is like $300 a day or something.
Which more. Then also pushes you to have to recreate content constantly.
Right.
If you can only boost it for 7 days.
Right. Wow. So imagine this. So imagine this. Sorry, imagine this now. The average person does a daily ad spend of $25 to $35 a day. That's the average. So imagine your buddy that's coming in with a $350 a day ad spend. Over the course of 7 days. You literally just obliterated your competition, like obliterated within that week. So that's why the growth and the numbers and everything is so easy to spike on TikTok, because as long as you just come in with like a decent budget, you're laughing, you're killing it.
Well, it's been said that Facebook has over 52,000 data points on its users as well. So it's been said, but I don't know about phone movement. It was funny. One of the questions that the CEO was asked, I made a meme of it, right? I made a meme of him sitting there and then just these sweat beads running down his head because he was getting grilled. Whoever prepared him for that trial
didn't. So let's go back to the book for a sec, because we talked about round 1 where we focus on storytelling. Now we have more storytelling in chapter 2. We talk about it being native to the platform. We went over that. We talk about, and the thing in this book, my friends, for those of you who aren't reading along with us, there are fantastic examples that have have worked through the test of time. So let's take a look, why not, at page 20. At page 20, I want to know how you guys would change these ads to make them relevant for today, or if they already are relevant, if we could just run those ads right now and you think that they would work. Page 20.
I think with these are straight ads. As far as the non-native ones, they don't look like they belong in the feed. So they don't look like they belong in the feed. So to make it look like it belongs in the feeds, maybe you have to use your cell phone and professionally produced photographs. But you have pictures that are non-stock, that look like normal people. I'll just say one little advertisement that I've seen. Maybe we're on the same pixel. Maybe we're pixeled together. You know, I know we all get Russell Brunson's ads. They follow us around
everywhere.
Once you're in his circle, it's like you're gonna get pounded.
Yep.
It's like,
I think it's interesting. This one here, the Best Buy ad. When you talk about not being designed for the platform, there's a barcode on it. So are you expecting people to then view this image from a Facebook timeline? It's a Facebook ad. A Facebook timeline, and then print it out? That extra step, is you're going to lose a whole bunch of people. So your conversions of this ad are not going to go well if you're counting people, expecting them to come into the store.
Most people are accessing Facebook from the app on their phone. So it could be a screen capture.
Yeah,
true.
It could be a screen capture, and keeping it, or actually what I do sometimes is I save posts to come back later. So they could possibly get some traffic from that. I wouldn't throw the baby out.
Come to think of it, actually, when you say it like that, when I think about it in the way that we use our phones today, we take screenshots of it. We use QR codes, where boarding passes at the airports are in some cases entirely on your phone. But 10 years ago, that wasn't the case.
No.
10 years ago, our screen sizes on our phones were significantly smaller. So I don't actually know if 10 years ago that ad would have actually converted the same way that we think about it with our mindset of today, because of how users use it, which also goes back to what we were talking about with that boundary that we have with, we didn't want our data taken before, but we see so many people are there, and now we're on that bandwagon. As technology creeps forward, it changes the way that our ads work.
Yeah. We start to lower our defenses. We see more people doing it. Then we start thinking, it's just harmless for me to give out more information. Then we go deeper down, but that's wearing you down.
Yeah.
That's wearing,
but with a QR code or with a barcode, I remember being at the airport 10 years ago, or even more recently than that, and it was the first time I saw someone with their boarding pass with a QR code, and she was trying to scan, and it wouldn't work, but she hadn't printed a paper backup. And so everyone's in line like, come on, lady, why didn't you think of that? Yet fast forward to today, and everyone's like, come on, why isn't it on your phone? Let's get going. Hurry up.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. And so it changes our ads as well.
I think what I would change here is, like Mark already said it, you could do a screen grab of that with a QR code, or you don't even need a QR code. You can literally keep the barcode there, because if you're bringing that in store, they can still just scan it. Obviously, in terms of the summer is coming, in this ad in particular, I would just update it to the brand new Game of Thrones series that's
Yep.
on HBO. So
Well,
I would just update it to be a little bit more relevant. Also, Facebook, the best ads on Facebook work in 4x5. This is a square crop, so it would have a little bit more wiggle room on the top and the bottom of the image, which would make it slightly longer, but it wouldn't be a full screen. So 4x5 is actually what works best on Facebook and Instagram.
We have a lot more formats to post our content today.
We sure do.
It's not just the post now. You've got reels and stories on Facebook. You've got different size. The vertical photos on Facebook are becoming, well, they're more common now.
Yep. So Lefty touched on this when he went to the Summer is Coming advertisement on here. So let's pop over to page 24 because I think Lefty's the pro at this. So this whole chapter is what makes great stories, and this page is about leveraging pop culture. So let's tie this back to what we learned in the YouTube formula, where pop culture is in many cases the linchpin. And let's talk about storytelling from a foundational perspective of leveraging that social media. So we know that Lefty had this great video he put out recently talking about WrestleMania. He's also done a video about Netflix series like The Circle and how those relate back to his customer, his ideal customer. So those pop culture moments, Lefty, can you tell us about how those, like, let's get nitty gritty into some details, but how do those pop culture related videos perform relative to your tips and tricks, for example?
Yeah.
I mean, I think they're kind of both on the same playing field, but what I notice with the pop culture is that I'm introducing a new audience to my stuff, right?
Yeah.
Now, so the way I always looked at YouTube, and just to give a little bit of context behind how I do my content, YouTube was a way for me to not only give more information behind what it is that I want to talk about, but it was also a platform for me to be even more of myself. Right? It was a way for me to truly bring out all my creativity. So I'm not going to be the guy on YouTube that week in and week out talks about the 10 tips of Instagram or whatever, like I want people to see a different side of me. I want people to see me having fun, right? Well, you can't see it now because of how our layout is, but behind me, I have 2 Nerf guns, right? There's another pop culture thing where I know my videos aren't made for kids, but a parent with kids would maybe stumble across my video if they were also into like music and movies and all that, and be like, oh, this guy turned his Nerf guns into like sci-fi weapons, right? So these are the types of things that I enjoy doing because I wanted to. I didn't want anybody to feel left out on my channel. I wanted people to understand that it doesn't matter what you're a part of, but as long as I also can find it interesting, I want to make sure that I can make it interesting for you. So when you're talking about pop culture, first and foremost, you cannot procrastinate. Okay? That's the number one rule. If you know that any sort of sporting event or Academy Award or any series is about to start or even just about to end, you need to jump on the SEO bandwagon as fast as possible, because that is when like millions of WWE fans swarmed the internet last week, right? So just by having WWE in my title, I'm gonna pop up. right? I'm going to have, or at least if I don't pop up, I'll have better chances of popping up, right?
Yep.
So first and foremost, you cannot sleep on pop culture. Pop culture is like time. If you sleep on time, you're going to wake up and you're going to be freaking 70 years old and you're not even going to know what hit you.
And you can't get it back.
And you're going to still be using CDs.
Hey.
That's what Gary says.
Exactly, the CDs. Yeah. So on top of that, before you even touch on pop culture, you have to really do research development. You have to, like, I watched 4, I think maybe 5 seasons of The Circle before I was able really to be like, okay, I can tie this back into marketing. I didn't just watch like 3 episodes of season 1 and be like, let's make a video, right? So you got to really understand who you're going to address, how you're going to address them, or you might even open up a new series or something to like your already existing audience, right? So that's really the big one. Telling a story, time, and doing the research.
Mr. Beast had one of the best examples when he did his Squid Games video.
Yep. I think that's his highest viewed video just because of the series itself.
Yeah. And I've seen some recently that took the Matrix. You could take that time in that pop culture time in history and still use it today. Those are some good tips, Lefty.
Fun fact, did you know that The Matrix is actually a sequel to Terminator?
Really?
Yep.
A sequel?
It's actually written by the same author.
Have you guys seen the Animatrix?
That's interesting.
No.
The Animatrix is the foundational stories that happen before the Matrix. And it's like they play in the magical realm. And they're all different and they're all animated by different animators. So they're these little short stories. And it's really cool. It gives you more of an understanding of what the Matrix is in a world that's more familiar with what we look at instead of the like cyber techie. It's what happens above ground. On that note, my friends, it's time to wrap up today's episode. But next week, my friends, we're going to be diving back into Jab, 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 Right Hook with Mr. Gary V. And we're going to be talking specifically about storytelling on Facebook. The whole chapter is about storytelling on Facebook. So we're going to call back to the things we've learned in rounds 1 and 2 this episode today, as well as what we're going to learn from Gary V himself in the next chapter, which I am so excited for because we're all on Facebook. So we gotta pump up that storytelling, and it'll be neat again to see how this information, maybe we pick out those foundational things that will take us into the next decade, and maybe we'll find some things that just got phased out.
Yeah. I can't wait for the Facebook. I can't wait. I'm started reading it, and it's like,
sorry.
Yeah,
that's the longest chapter in the book. Interesting though, he talks about, when I was reading this and he was talking about native and non-native, I couldn't help but think that, okay, some people will tell you to let your content blend in, but then there is the opposite of don't let your content blend in, let your content stand out, pattern interrupt.
Exactly.
Because of how social media is, but we'll get into that next week in Facebook, right?
So exciting. All right, Lefty, any last words for today's episode?
Yes. I wanted to touch quickly on the fact that we've all heard, or at least most of us have heard of the straight line method, right? It's one product or service, one offer, $1 million. But does that also mean one platform?
I personally, I don't like that idea, but that's just me.
You don't like that idea? I mean, I
No,
think
because like it depends on what your goals are, but to make that a blanket statement, I
Yeah.
don't think it works, because if you really want to be top of mind, let's go back to marketing principles. You want to be top of mind, you need to be showing up in more than one place. With the way that people are using so many different social platforms, I think the one platform piece of guru guidance
Nice,
is
yeah.
is out of date. Like, that's 10 years old, that information, when there was so many fewer social apps that people were utilizing for their marketing. Nowadays, if you're able to stay, you need, if someone wants to recognize your brand, you need like 17 to 28 touch points. So if you can expand those touch points to other platforms, by no means am I saying try to be everywhere at all times, but pick those 2 or 3 platforms that speak to your customer avatar. That's why I have a podcast, I have a YouTube channel, and I have Facebook. I throw some Instagram stuff up, but it's really just a copy of my YouTube channel. But like,
Yeah.
keep that mini ecosystem, I think, is a better, more effective way to reach those touch points and to really integrate your customer. But that's just me.
I mean, I can agree on I can agree on the 3, but I mean, I know a lot of people that are killing it on one platform, and I've never seen them anywhere else.
Yeah,
right.
So
because they're focusing their ad spend in one place.
Yeah, even with great exposure, your profile is only reaching at the most 9% of your friends list, or 10%.
Yeah.
And if you want to run ads and you have a business page, that exposure is even less. So if you're only on one platform, then nobody knows you.
We can get into media buying in a different conversation.
Yeah.
But if I can really give my last words is get into paid ads before it's too late and you're not going to be able to afford them. That's what I have to say. And keep jabbing. Keep jabbing before you get the right hook. Keep jabbing. Don't stop.
But remember, Lefty, just years ago, probably before this digital age, the cost of advertising and the amount of money you had to spend to reach the amount of people that you can reach, it's still, relative to that, it's still less expensive. I spent close to $300 for an ad in the newspaper on the 11th page.
Mm-hmm.
and you don't know who's actually reading it, who's going to see this. Are they going to be the people that I can target with such pinpoint targeting? Like for example, this ad with Best Buy. Somebody that's in the market that had already been looking to buy something from Best Buy, they see this $7.99, they're going to jump on that. And if you can, but I know.
No, I was just gonna say because I've been hearing this. I heard this twice now at AdWorld, not once, twice. Social media is going to slowly start adopting the same principles of media buying in broadcast television.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be the daily ad spend anymore. It's going to be, oh, you want a primetime slot on the first page, which let's call it 1 p.m. EST. Yeah, that's going to cost you $10,000 to run that ad. Oh, you only have $300? Oh, we'll put you at 1 a.m. EST when everyone's sleeping. So that's why I say get into it before it's too late and get your audience and build it, because that can happen in an instant. You never know with these platforms.
That's an interesting conversation, because what is prime time?
Oh, correct.
Yep.
Also, fun fact, the way they measure how much your cost per lead is based on how much you feed your algorithm. If you are someone that posts periodically And then you wonder, why am I paying $10 for a lead? And Buddy's paying $1. It's because Buddy posts 3-4 times a day. He's engaging, he's putting stories, he's feeding also his business page, because let's face it, we just make a business page and we forget about it because we only have the business page just to run ads. Feed the algorithm. When you feed the algorithm, your
it has more data
starts dropping.
It has more data to go out there and find those people that would be interested, because it has 52,000 data points.
I literally just went from spending $3 a lead on a brand awareness campaign to 42 cents a lead, just because I'm feeding my algorithm.
Yeah, I think I've heard it called you warm it up. You warm up that algorithm by data, and you do it by putting pixels on your landing pages, on your thank you pages, and it's going to allow that engine, the AI. But I know, right? We're going way past.
Anyways, I know Molly wanted to cut this off at 8:30, so let's be mindful of our time. We love you all. Thank you for joining the book club. And yes, next week we're going to start jumping into Facebook, which is the longest chapter in the book. Probably going to be one of my favorites. Who knows? I'm still at the beginning. But yeah, we're really excited to have you here. And you know what? I'm not going to finish off. Molly, what are your last words?
Yes, Molly.
Well, my friends, thank you all so much for joining this episode. We know you could be spending your days doing so many other things, but you're here, you're learning, and you're taking your brand, your message, your mission, and your movement to the next level. And we're doing it with the help of great experts. And yeah, all right, my friends, I will see you same bat time, same bat channel right here next week. And by here, I mean, you can find us on Lefty's channel, on Mark's channel, and on my channel, as well as in the Visibility Hackers Facebook group. So come on down, join us on any of those platforms. Come say hi, hello to our live crew, hello to our replay crew, and we will see you next week. Everyone say bye.
See?